Battle Rap Unfiltered, the hottest podcast that's around. Analytics different whenever we breaking it down. Who you had losing and who you think was taking around. A show for the culture, no other podcast making the sound. With expert opinions, we giving you the news you've been missing. Nobody does it like this, cause the talk.
Welcome to another episode of Battle Rap Unfiltered. We've got the whole ensemble today, the full cast. Give a big welcome and shout out to LP, Mitz, Kel, and I'm your host, Kels. Welcome. We have a pretty interesting topic to talk about today, coming from one of the culture's icons, one of the legends in female battle rap, MyVerse herself. She sent out a tweet not too long ago stating, "What gets you more respect, the opponent or the league?" And I think that is a very good question. And I want to hear your thoughts about this. LP, start us off.
The way I break this down, when it comes to leagues, talking about cards, which then, of course, leads to the opponents, where you're talking about status. Where do you get more respect, truthfully, in a wrongful way? The leagues. Doesn't matter who you battle. If URL, which we all know is a big name, decides to book a battle or whatever, people are going to pay more attention, even if it's No Name Joe and Taco Bell Tony or whoever. People are going to pay attention because it's URL. You take that away and you put someone like Verb. You put him on a small league, backyard battle league against whoever. People going to watch it? Maybe. But is the traction going to get there? Speaking YouTube, speaking algorithms, is it going to get as much attention as URL? Or not just URL, RBE, KOTD, all these bigger names. So for me, sum it all up, leagues. And it's not right. I will say that. It's not right.
So you're telling me the league grants more respect, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I say that because that's wrong. That's where my stance comes from with that.
Okay. Interesting. Mitz, tell me, do you have a similar opinion or is it different?
I'm going to disagree with my counterpart, LP. I understand his perspective because you do get more respect if you battle on URL, if you battle on RBE. You get the top level, you get a top opponent every time. However, I think there's fire competition all across the board. Sometimes a good opponent may not make it to URL, may not make it to RBE, may not make it to King of the Dot. But the battle, them as a battle rapper individually is really good. And that could create for some fire matchups. So I know some fire matchups that took place outside of, all those leagues, all the top leagues. I go back to We Go Hard when it was Chess and Dougie inside of a basement at 3:00 in the morning, battling in the middle of Brooklyn. Fire battle. Got a lot of other top-notch battle rappers, looking at that battle as well. So I think it's opponent, but I get his perspective when he said it's league, because you get the best of the best at the URL. But I think fire matchups could be created anywhere. And I think individuals always deserve a chance to battle some of the top competition. And that makes for great battle rap as a whole.
Okay. It's a good perspective. Kel.
So I would have to say, when I first started watching battle rap, it was more so the league for me. But as battle rap started to evolve and, I started adding more battlers to my repertoire, then it kind of didn't matter to me anymore what league the person I wanted to see was battling on. So I would have to say it's more so your opponent for me now than where you battle, For instance, you got your favorite battlers, just, like, for instance, Geechee Gotti. Just because he's originally a URL battler, I'm not going to not watch a battle that he's on because he's on a smaller card. You know what I mean? I like watching him, so I'm going to watch him wherever. And I think that there's a difference between, if you're a real fan of the battler that you're interested in, you're going to watch them wherever, regardless of what platform they're battling on.
It's a good perspective. I agree. Here's my thought on the whole conversation. There's two ways of really looking at it. There's a fan's perspective, and then there's a battle rapper's perspective. As a fan, here's my perspective. I'm in this for the sport. And at the end of the day, there's two people on that stage battling, sometimes four. And it's the battlers to me that matter. It's one person against another person. It's this person's skill versus another person's skill. And to me, it does not matter what stage, what arena, what state. None of that matters to me. The only thing that matters to me is this person versus another person. And the only way to be better or to have respect in my eyes is to go against other people who have proven themselves to be accredited. They are talented. They have proven it time and time again. Some of the best battles I've seen have been in barbershops and these small places that aren't on a big stage. Sure, they're a part of the league, right? But we're missing the part where it's not on the stage where we have all these fans, and that's what's really creating the whole momentum of behind a league is it's the stages, really. The big cards, the huge names and the celebrities coming out. What matters to me is one battler against another battler. Now, if you take the stage out of the equation, if you take the league out of the equation, are you still able to rap? And if you can't, I don't care what league you're battling on, you're not respected to me. If you can only rap on one platform, you're trash. As that simple. If you are scared to step outside of another league to go battle somewhere else to prove your grit and your marrow, you don't have none. Because to me, it just looks like you're coddled.
Yeah.
Now,
I would say to that response to that. So when they go battle on, what do you guys think about when they go battle on another league outside of a top league, but they don't write up like they will write for a top league? So I think that sometimes, could interfere with it being a great battle. So for instance, let's take Surf, for example, him saying it only matters on URL. So when he battled Calico on UW, he didn't really write up for that battle. So that could be, a reason why some people pick league over opponent as well.
Here's what I say to that. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it just be a popularity factor. You know what I mean? Just, popularity based off what stage you're performing on. Right. To some people, it just doesn't matter because they're popular.
I thought they were battle rappers, right? I thought their job was to battle rap, right?
Max.
So you mean to tell me you got battle rappers out here who are like, oh, I don't care about my brand. I don't care about my fans who flew out here, who spent money to go stay at these hotels and to travel and to buy these tickets to see me perform. I don't care about them because the person signing my check isn't URL or isn't KOTD or RB. That sounds stupid to me.
Or it's not $70,000. Instead it's $10,000. So I'm not going to write up because it's $10,000.
Then don't write at all. Don't write at all. If you're not going to put your heart into your craft, don't do it. Because if we're living in a time of your most recents that matter, I think longevity matters as far as like content of work and body of work. You cannot call yourself a great or any type of Mount Rushmore or any type of status. You cannot tell me that if you pick and choose when you want to be good.
Yeah. That's why I respect people like A-Ward. No matter he hasn't made it to
first person that came to mind.
He hasn't made it to URL yet. But
he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to. First of all,
no.
He writes for every league. He battled Geechee somewhere. I believe that was a barbershop or an old school studio record player store or something.
And
Geechee didn't prepare like he should have, and A-Ward took him very serious. That's what I'm talking about. When you go to another league, you better always write because them other opponents who haven't made it to where the other person is, they're coming to kill you.
Yeah, their hunger is still there.
Yeah, it's like basketball. I would compare it to like college basketball. Those mid-major schools in the tournament when they get ready to play a Duke or they get ready to play a North Carolina, they're not coming to play. It's their time to shine.
Right. That's how them upsets be happening.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. And I think this is a good opportunity. We got a few submissions. We have one from Fred and one from Rami. Let's hear what they have to say about this same topic.
The league you're battling on is way more respected and it's way more important because we know top tiers come to all the small leagues just to get that bag. So if you beat them, you didn't really beat anybody because they just came for the bag. For me, they just came. They wanted to get the money real quick. For me, they came. They spat what they spat, and then for me, it don't matter if they win or lose because it's not going in the books. For me, it don't even matter if it's not on URL. If you ask me, you know how I rock. So shit, the league matters the most, not the opponent. Not at all.
I think it's your opponent that gets you the respect versus the league that you're doing it on. Because it's not about where you're battling, but who you're battling. Some battles are definitely made for certain stages. Like, don't get that twisted, I know. But it's the battlers that create, like, the importance or the level of competition, you know what I'm saying, for that battle. And depending on who you battle and who you beat, it increases your value or your stock, and you get better competition as it goes along. Now, my best example, obviously, is A-Ward. Never been on URL, but shit, he has all the respect on the world. All the respect, man. Shit, there's nobody who don't know who A-Ward is. And even the people who claim they only watch shit on URL, they know who A-Ward is.
All right. We just listened to Rami and Fred give their perspective on this topic. Let's talk about it real quick. There are two different perspectives here. We have Fred, who is basically saying the league is more respected. And then we have Rami saying that it's the battler. How do you guys feel about their perspectives? I know we're a little split ourselves, so.
Yeah, I actually see where Fred is coming from, because when I first started talking about this, I was solely sold on just it's the opponent, and I'm still sold on just the opponent. I'm not changing my opinion. It's the opponent, but I see where Fred coming from, because you're battling, like I said earlier, you're battling the top competition all the time. You're not going to slack on a URL stage. You're going to write up for your opponent every time, because it is the biggest league. So it doesn't matter who you're facing. It's always going to be a fight. It always should be a fight. It should never be a body, even though we see a lot of bodies. But it should never be a clear 3-0. That's why we always have it. It's going to be 2-1 either way. It's going to be a debatable, that type of stuff. And I see where Rami coming from. He gave an example of A-Ward, and that's what we just brought up. A-Ward kills everybody on every stage because he takes every battle seriously. So it doesn't matter what league. He's still going to get his view. He's still going to do his numbers because he's just that type of, battle rapper. Especially with his freestyle ability, it just, makes him an extra, scary, and that's inside that ring. So no matter where he goes battle at, he gonna get his views. He has his fans. He has his following. And I think if you gain your followers, you have your fan base, no matter what league you're on, you're gonna do numbers. If it comes down to numbers, not what they care about.
That's a fact. I will have to mention one other thing. I do understand Fred's perspective, but I do have one thing to add about that. When it comes to the league, they can make amazing matchups, right? But to Rami's point, it's the battlers who actually give those matchups meaning, grudge matchups and the style clashes and all that, because you can write down a perfect card. And then just like many other cards that we've witnessed, they don't always perform the way you think they do. And sometimes they fall flat. So is it the league's fault that they fall flat, or is it the battler? It's something to think about. But I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts. Until next time, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
To the views and predictions, John Jones, we came here to kick it. We just a show on the rise, definitely top 5. And before you leave, you better like, comment, subscribe. Battle Rap Unfiltered.